good morning, my friends. It's Diane from Boho Stamper, and welcome back. Or if you are a new subscriber, welcome. Glad to have you. I'm going to apologize up front before we get started here for my inconsistency of my upcoming videos. I try to have them ready every Monday and Friday, but my lovely mother-in-law has taken a turn for the worse here, and so it's been a rough couple of weeks for us with her health. And this morning she did have to go to hospital, and so this is going to be a day-by-day thing. And between the holidays and family, videos will be probably third on my list right now. So family first, but I will try to get these done in between all of our events, and hopefully not be too disrupted. My shopping code for April is shown here. If you need supplies or want to place any Stampin' Up! Orders, you can use the shopping code. And then when you do that, I will be alerted if you placed an order. And if you do a $50 or more product purchase, I am going to thank you with some mini glue dots. If you do make a $100 product purchase or more, I'm going to thank you with the glue dots and a silicone mat, which is real handy for gluing excuse me, all your little bits and pieces. So use the shopping code, and I will know to add you to my list. We're in April, so we're coming to the end of our 2022 annual catalog and starting the new catalog. If you don't have one, or you don't have a demonstrator and you get in touch with me, I will get a catalog to you, along with our annual catalog retiring. So do many of our in colors that we love so much, and for me that's Misty, Moonlight. I'm ready to cry. But there is a pretty blue coming out with the new in colors that will replace that very nicely. I just am going to miss my lovely blue here, so I'm going to use that today. I just did my design team card last week and was using the Honeybee Home bundle here, stamps and dies, and had so much fun with it. I wanted to do a card today. And so I've taken a piece of, we're going to do a little bit of this together. I have a plan in my head, but I don't have the bits all completed here. I have a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock that I have cut in half. Excuse me, here we go. Always when I start talking. I've taken an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock and cut it in half. And then I've scored it down the center and folded that for a 4.25 by 5.5 inch card base. I also have used a piece of the Coordinating Designer Series paper, Harvest Meadows, and I think this is in the catalog. Oh, I had it out here. That'll be available for a little while. I think, where did I put the catalog? Oh, right in front of me. Dear Lord in heaven. Is this my Honeybee Home Suite? That's it. So this is in the mini catalog, and that paper is going to be available until June. So you can still get some of that Harvest Home paper. And it has, I have a couple packs. I should not get any more, because then I'll be sorry if I have a lot left over and I run out of inks that coordinate with it. But you can still get that. Oh, I guess I could tell you that number in case you want to know that right off the bat. Heart and Home Designer Series paper is number 157928. And let me see, what else do I have here? While I was doing my design team card, I already had some leftover bumblebees that I used Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I stamped out some bumblebees. And then I just used my crushed curry marker and added my yellow and then die cut those. So I just saved all my little extra bits. I also have a couple extra pieces of the 3D Hive embossing folder. I cut these out of the stitched nested label dies, which I think are not carrying over, and so I had to change that up on my card and use something different because they won't be in the new catalog. But I do have a piece of that left over from the nested labels, and then I ran it through the Hive 3D embossing folder. That also is in the catalog until June, so you can still get that. And I don't know if I'm going to use that or not, but I have it sitting here. I embossed that on copper metallic, the copper foil paper. But my whole plan of attack today on my card is using the linen paper. And I've tried this on other cards and never been happy with what I did with my linen. But I found something that I enjoy on it, and so I want to use that on my card today. I'm not an even person. I don't like my designs cut right down the middle. So this piece of linen paper is, let me get to my, is 1 3/4 inches by 5 1/4. And my designer series paper is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So I didn't want to cut my linen paper right down the center. That's why I made it 1 3/4. So let's have a little bit of fun with this first. Even though I love my Misty Moonlight, I don't have a Misty Moonlight marker. But I do have, and I'm just putting this inside of a cardboard box so that I don't make a mess all over the place. I do have a Night of Navy marker, and I think that this will be okay. So when we use our markers, there is a broad band on one end and a narrow band on the other end of the barrel. This indicates that this is the brush tip and this is the bullet tip. I'm going to use the brush tip end of my marker and flick the ink from the inside of the cap across my linen paper. Because this is actually a cloth, a fabric paper, it's going to start to bleed a little bit into the background and kind of go a little blurry. And I thought that looked pretty. And then I was thinking, I wonder what would happen if I spritz it with water, if it will blur a little bit more. And I did that, and I didn't do this on my design team card. I did that for this card. I really liked how it kind of blurred out a little bit. And it's kind of hard to see at the moment, but it's going to flatten out. Get that box out of the way. And I had done one in Pacific Point earlier, and this is how the Pacific Point turned out. But I think this is going to be too light on my Moonlight card. That's why I went with Night and Navy. The linen paper has an adhesive back. I also added some double-sided tape, the sticky tape, when I put that on my card, because I just think that from adding the ink in the water, it might not be as sticky as we need it to be. So we're going to set this aside to dry right now for a little bit. It almost looks like Brusho's, doesn't it? When we spritz the Brusho pigments or pigment sprinkles or whatever you might have, it kind of just does a starburst like that. I think that's very pretty. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to concentrate on the one flower from the stamp set. And I think I'm going to make this resemble Bluebells a little bit since I'm in my Misty Moonlight mood. And then we do have a die that will cut this out. So we'll cut that out after we get it stamped and colored in. I just have a scrap of basic white cardstock. my green, I'm going to use Mossy Meadow. I have my Misty Moonlight stamp pad, and I do have Stampin' Blends in Misty Moonlight. Just don't know why. Maybe there wasn't a marker for it. I don't know. I never used the markers very much on my cards. And lately, for some reason, ever since we got that one, I got blue spritzed all over my thumbnail. I'm trying to think of the name of the stamp set. And there's another pretty one coming out that will coordinate with that. It just doesn't look like I'm getting it on one side. Better. Is it? Oh, Positive Thoughts, maybe? I'll have to look. And I started using, well, I did some watercolor pencils, and I did that card on my video, but I also used my blends. No, maybe that's not the one I did. Anyway, for markers, I can't remember what I pulled my markers out, and I just kind of got hooked on that. So I'm going to start with my light Misty Moonlight. And the same thing, your Stampin' Blends have a broad band and a narrow band, and so that gives you your brush tip, and the narrow band indicates the bullet tip. So this is my light. I'm just going to do my little flowers. I guess these are darker than a bluebell. Bluebells are a lighter. This is my light. Yep. I was going to say I should have left that on light blue. This is light blue. I have my Mossy Meadow blends also so that I can do the leaves and the little bottom parts of the flowers. I can add a little bit of green to that. And when I'm using my blends, oh, I didn't get that flower stamped very well, did I? I didn't even pay attention to that. Good grief, my mind really is elsewhere. Let's do a new one of those. That flower's like blank. When I'm using my blends, I like to use my light and then my dark, and then I can go back over with my light where I need to. Unless I'm doing very small areas, and then I just might do my, I think my Mossy Meadow pad might need replaced also. It's a little bloomed there. Oh, I guess that flower doesn't have a whole lot of detail on it anyways. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm probably okay to keep using the one I'm using. Ding dong. So this is the Monday after Easter. I hope you had a lovely Easter with your loved ones. Let's just continue on with that then. I thought that I had done a poor stamp, but that's really how that one looks. Light blue I was using. Okay. Yep, our design team cards are a group of my uplines demonstrators, and we create a card each month that demonstrators can share with their downline team. We don't share those in just our how-to videos or send them out to customers. We try to just keep those for the demonstrator groups, which you can do. You can always join Stampin' Up as a demonstrator, or if if you're interested in maybe having a workshop and just have some friends get together and we can make a couple of cards, we can always arrange that as well. I'll stick my email address up there again at the end of my video in case you needed it. I also have a web page that you can check things out, which I need to update. My New Year's resolution was to be better at that and to keep that a little bit more updated, and I've not really fulfilled that resolution. I think that's on there tight. And then I just go back over that dark area that I drew in my shading. I go back over that with my light blend and blend that out a little bit. These flowers are very, very small, and so it's not very easy to see any of that, but it does make a pretty little blended flower. And I will hold this up as soon as I'm done. Yeah, so when we have a workshop, we just get together. We can have a couple of card designs already put together and the pieces cut out for you and your friends. We'll make a couple of cards and talk about the products that we use. Introduce maybe some people to craft if they think that they're not artistic or crafty, and show folks that they can make pretty cards. Okay, so I think I'm using Old Olive here because I don't think I had Mossy Meadow blends either. Actually, I thought I did, but I guess I don't. It's weird when I think I have something and I go to reach for it up in my shelf of inks there. I'm like, what? Not have that? And then what's really weird is probably a couple days from now when I go to make another card, I'll reach up there and pull it out and know that I really was losing my mind. Oh yeah, so contacting me, I was saying, through my webpage. You can sign up on my webpage to get the newsletter. I only send newsletters about every month just to send updates of what's new and happening with any products coming out, or the new catalogs and stuff like that. I try not to be an email pest and send those out too much. Just blend that out a little bit into my light green, and we're ready to die cut. In the meantime, my little linen panel has dried. Where's my cut and emboss? I couldn't do this earlier because I like to cut after I have it colored in. So I'm afraid I'm going to shake the table here, and your video is probably going to go a little berserk. So I apologize for that. And I'll just line my die up across my colored stamped image. I want to make this into a birthday card. The Honeybee Home doesn't have a birthday greeting or sentiment stamp in it, and so I'm going to use Peaceful Moments, which is a font only stamp set. Doesn't have any images, but I do tend to reach for it a lot because it has some really nice greetings and messages on here. There's our little flower. All cut out and ready to go. So I'm going to use a happy birthday stamp, and I'm going to stamp that with my Misty Moonlight. I'll grab another piece of white scrap. I don't know what I'm going to cut that out with yet. I don't know which die shape I want to use. I seem to be needing birthday cards quite a bit lately. That's why I decided to grab that stamp set again. Put this away so I don't lose it. This stamp set also has some pretty little border flowers in it. This is the little flower that I used on my design team card. And the dies, there are some extra dies in here. There's a leaf die and a couple of little wildflower dies that do not coordinate over your stamped image. So these would be fun to stamp out of maybe a vellum or one of the specialty papers you might have. And then just add that to your card as some little interest pieces. I don't know if I'm going to add any additional leaves or not. It's going to depend on how our flower looks against the linen splattered background here when we're done. I need to see that first. I told you I didn't have this card all figured out in my head. Just a couple bits of it. Knew where I wanted to go, just wasn't sure what the end result was going to be yet. Because, you know, they never come out quite the same. That little flower and colored in for another card. They never come out the same as what I have pictured. And I'm pretty sure I'm not alone with that. So, here's my designer paper. Here's my background. I think I am going to need some leaves. That's going to be too blendy in there. And so, do I still have some green vellum stuff here? Or well, I guess in the Heart and Home paper, there's this green. Let me see what's in here that we might be able to just use to cut some leaves out of. That probably is it. That'll work. That's fine. But I want something more solid. I don't really want. Am I being picky here? I want, right? Mm-hmm. And so I want, let's just get the Mossy Meadow. Get a scrap of Mossy Meadow and just cut a couple of leaves out. So we don't need to stamp anything. We're just going to die cut leaves. Put those behind our little flower. Dreary, dreary day here. Cold. We had snow on the deck for Easter morning. We'll do 2 more just in case, because with a die like this, it can always be trimmed apart if you want to have just an extra leaf stuck in there somewhere. You need just one more little piece. You can always trim the leaf off. here. And I don't know how long it's going to take this video to upload. I was going to try to keep this sort of short so that it won't take forever. Because we've tried everything we could to improve our internet, and we even yesterday when my sons were here for Easter, if the television was on, no one was able to use the Wi-Fi for their phone or anything. It just really is horrible. So we are going to have to do an upgrade here, and hopefully that's going to help, and we might be able to go back to lives. That would be easier. It just takes so long to upload them that you got to keep the videos a little bit shorter. It takes 8 hours to upload for you to watch. And that's not fun. Okay, this is going to work better. All right, let's start putting this little baby together. We will add, I have some sticky tape. I do. We will just add our background DSP panel to the front of the card base. And that was 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. That just then gives you a very small 1/8 of an inch border. Oh, come on, slide over just a little. Thank you. And then we have our linen, which was 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. I have to decide if I want this to be the blurrier end up, the blurrier end down. I think down. Okay. And I am going to use some, oh, sure she is. Where did I put it? My, double-sided tape. Oh, it's been peeling apart all morning. Now I want to peel it apart and I can't get the back. Oh, what'd I say now? Blurry end down or blurry end up? Down. Okay. Come on, you can do it. There we go. It might stick. I don't know. Well, I'll try it, and if it doesn't work, I know on my design team card I did use the tape. I just didn't trust it. And so, it almost feels like a medical tape. I guess it is pretty sticky. I didn't think it was that sticky. It is. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's okay. Yay. And then I'm just going to use a fine tip glue. And I have to use a skinny tip glue bottle for my small dies. I usually use art glitter glue. I do have Tombow multi-purpose glue. But when the Tombow, if I get any on the top or the front of the die cut image, it stays sticky, and art glitter glue doesn't. So I tend to use that for my smaller bits. And this is what I meant by being able to trim some of these apart and just add little leaf branches where I want them. And this is when your silicone mat comes in real handy, so you don't have to get glue on your paper. And if it gets on your silicone mat, it washes right off, or you can just even usually take your finger and peel the glue off of your mat. Oh, I think it's raining again. April showers and all that, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Cute, cute. And I have a couple of my little bees that I already had done. And I need to die cut out my greeting. What do I want to use for that? What did I use? Oh, I used yes, this is what I used, painted label dies, because painted label dies are another set that will carry over into the new catalog as well. And so I tried to use something that would be available. Let's try my mini boss. I haven't wanted to bother hubby and ask him if he can get the little bolt thing and get my handle hooked back on there. He's been so preoccupied with his mom that my mini cut and emboss machine wasn't a priority. So I don't know, maybe I'll get bold and try to take it apart myself. I'll probably break it. Oops, sorry for the jiggle. Oh, you know what else would have been pretty with this whole suite? There are little doilies. Let me just see something here before we continue. Because I think I have those right here in my bin. Yeah, that's right. I have a bazillion little elements between sparkles and gems and stones and... Oh, come on. I think my doilies should be in... Oh, no. I had them out. That's right. I was using them. Where did I put them? Maybe I won't be able to add one. Darn it. That would have been good. This would have been a good time to use one. Oh, there they are. There they are. Come on. My little bin. Get back in there where you belong. Thank you. I don't put my little drawer back down there, it'll be out forever. One of my favorite ways to use a doily like this is to cut them in half. I just use my paper trimmer and cut it right down the center and add it to the side of a little border there. Isn't that pretty? Look what a difference that makes. Let's do that. Let's just add that little puppy right on there. I have to clip this shut because I ripped my cello bag. And my doily's falling out all over the place. This might actually be, in my opinion, prettier than my first one that I did this week or last week with this. My design team card. I might like this one better. Shame on me. No, not really. I mean, I spent a lot of time making that one too. Figuring it out and what a difference that makes. I love it. Okay. Add our little happy birthday. I think I will pop that up because I didn't add dimension anywhere else. We might pop our little bumblebees up. We'll just put some dimensionals on the back of our painted label die, which is a very cool die set. It has, see, I had taken some of that, whoops, I ripped it. You can cut, die cut spirals with that one. So you get these really cool looking, and then I had decided against it and just set that aside. And now that I've ripped it, I don't know that I can use it at all. Shame on me. Should have just left it alone, right? And we'll add a couple mini glue dots. I think I'll just put 2 B's. 2B or not 2B. And I might add, I still have some of my little in-color gems out here, little squares. Add these were the in-color gem squares. This might actually be one of the first, unless I have a hidden package down there someplace, I might actually use all of these up. This paper is so versatile. I mean, you can use this paper for so many different cards. I love it. It reminds me a lot of the boho indigo paper that we had with the one special bundle there for a while, which was a favorite. Obviously, I like blue a lot more than I realized. And so there is our birthday card today using Honeybee Home, Honeybee Bloom dies, and where did I put that die? The one that I just cut out. I don't want to lose it. I have lost dies in the past. Wow. So now we know what I'm going to search for. Those were the painted label dies. Sorry. Lost my train of thought when I couldn't find my die. Where is it? Holy pizzoli. Okay, folks. Is that it? That's it. Oh my gosh. I put it in the wrong one. That's why. It doesn't go in the honeybee dies. Oh, it goes in the painted label dies. It also has this really cute little swirly one here. And this went with the poppies. What was the poppy set? Oh, like, yeah. Painted poppies, maybe. Painted poppies. I think this was part of that whole suite. So, there you have it. Honeybee Home, happy birthday. Everybody have a wonderful week. I will add videos as time permits here. And if I don't get to talk to you within the next few days or so, just know that I'm thinking about you. Prayers for my mother-in-law's comfort would really be appreciated. So if you have a minute and you are a spiritual person, feel free to lift her up when you're saying your prayers tonight. And we'll see you soon with another creation, and get in touch if you need to get a catalog. Take care, everybody. Bye.